Hello and welcome to class ninth, subject English, Behive book, chapter 2nd, The Sound of Music. As we have read in the first part, students, about Aveline Glennie, from that part of this chapter, we were inspired that how Aveline Glennie, after being a disabled child, has she had achieved the popularity just because of music. The Sound of Music chapter is totally revolves around music only. Through music, how different people have got popularity. Okay, so in the second part, also, students, we will get to know about Bismillah Khan, that with the help of Shehnai, how he get so much famous in his life. This lesson is about, or this part, second part, chapter 2nd, is about Ustad Bismillah Khan. He was a renowned Shehnai player in India. He born on 21st March 1916 at Dumrao and died on 21st August 2006 in Heritage Hospital in Varanasi. He got many awards like Bharat Ratna, Padma Shri, Padma Bhushan, Padma Vibhushan. Ustad Kumrauddin Bismillah Khan, often referred to by the title Ustad, was an Indian musician created with popularizing the Shehnai, a subcontinental wind instrument of oboe class. While the Shehnai had long held importance as a folk instrument played primarily at schools in traditional ceremonies, Khan is credited with elevating its status and bringing it to the concert stage. On his 102nd birthday, Google honored Bismillah Khan's with a Google Doodle. He is a legend. He is a legend because he did something which has historical significance. He played the Shehnai on the day India got independence. Is that 15th August 1947 at Red Fort, before the Prime Minister of India, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, gave his speech. Before that, Bismillah Khan played the Shehnai in order to signify something auspicious for the whole country was about to happen. India was about to get freedom, and so on that occasion, Bismillah Khan played the Shehnai, and so he is a legend. Now, let's start the chapter by line reading and explanation. Emperor Aurangzeb banned the playing of a musical instrument called pungi in the royal residence, for it had a shrill, unpleasant sound. Here, students, shrill means a sharp voice which used to irritate anyone. Okay, so that sharp voice this pungi instrument was having, due to which the Emperor Aurangzeb banned this instrument in his royal residence. Okay, so pungi became a generic name for reeded noisemakers. Means pungi was having a generic name. Generic means a scientific name, a name given to anyone, a special name given to anyone. Okay, so a special name was given to pungi for reeded noisemakers. Means it used to make reeded noise. Okay, so reeded is a type of noise which is made by any wood. Okay, it is any voice which is made by any instrument like a flute. So pungi is a type of flute, pre type flute you can say, which was a feature of a past feature of flute you can say. Okay, so few had thought that it would one day be revived. Means some of one of that royal resident thought that pungi will be revived, and once happened also. Revived means it will again be become live or bring into life. Okay, so a barber of a family of professional musician who had access to the royal palace. Okay, so one person who was a barber, he thought to revive that pungi by working on his tonal quality for the royal place. Decided to improve the tonal quality of that pungi. He choose a pipe with a natural hollow stem that was longer and broader than the pungi. As reeded noisemaker students, reeded here, reed is a type of bamboo, a stick you can say, or wood you can say, bamboo trees you must have seen. Okay, so from that wood, these type of pungis, flutes or shenai are made up of. Okay, so he chose a pipe with a natural hollow stem that was longer and broader than the pungi. Means the newly invented instrument was having much length than the pungi, and it was broader also. And made what the barber has done with that new instrument like pungi, he just made 7 holes on the body of that pipe. When he played on it, closing and opening some of these holes, some soft and melodious sound were produced. Means as you must have seen while playing the flute students, so like that only he also used to play that new instrument by closing and opening the holes which he had made in that pipe. Okay, the natural hollow stem, he has done just holes in that pipe, and he used to close and open the holes with his fingers, and different types of sound used to come out from that, and those and that type of sound which was coming was very soft and melodious. Okay, so he played the instrument before the royalty. Means in the royal darbar, in the royal court, he had played that instrument, and everybody was very much impressed from that voice of that pungi. Okay, so the instrument so different from the pungi had to be given a new name. Means what the instrument that barber has made was different from pungi, and its voice was also very much different, and because of that everyone thought to give a new name to that pungi, to that new instrument made by the barber. As the story goes, since it was the first played in the Shah's chamber and was played by the Nai, the barber, the instrument was named the Shahnai. Okay, as students, you know that the new instrument was invented by the barber, which in Hindi we used to say Nai. Okay, and it was firstly played in the royal darbar, royal court. So in the Shah's chambers, that is why Shah plus Nai, the name was given Shehnai. Okay, in the second para, the sound of the Shehnai began to be considered auspicious. Means uh, the Shehnai was day by day becoming very much popular because its voice was very auspicious, very pleasant sound it was having, and people are thinking that it is good for the uh, good ceremonies. Okay, so one spirituality was there that people are thinking it is a blessing type of thing, it is good for the good events uh, to play in that. Okay, so that is why it become auspicious for the people, and for this reason it is still played in the temples and in the indispensable component of any North Indian wedding. Okay, so in any indispensable and any species event people used to play the Shehnai, and in temples also for getting peace and pleasant feeling. In temples also Shehnai is used to be played. In the past, the Shehnai was the part of the Naubat, or traditional ensemble of 9 instruments found at royal courts. Okay, so students, in previous time, Shehnai was the part of Naubat. Naubat is a type of ceremony, you can say. Okay, traditional ensemble. It is in traditional ensemble, and Shehnai has become the a traditional symbol of 9 instruments. Means what the instruments were played in a royal court. One of the instrument was Shehnai, which have become the traditional symbol. Okay, and which was the part of Naubat. Okay, so and those instruments are played in royal courts. So till recently it was used only in temples and weddings. Means till that time, till it was the part of Naubat and traditional ensemble, till that time it was just played in temples and weddings of the people only. The credit for bringing this instrument onto the classical stage goes to Ustad Bismillah Khan. Means rather the instrument was created by a barber, but this instrument was bringing or credit for bringing this instrument onto the classical stage goes to Ustad Bismillah Khan only. As a 5-year-old, Bismillah Khan played gilli danda near a pond in the ancient state of Dumrao in Bihar. Means when Ustad Bismillah Khan was of 5-year-old, he used to go with his friends and play gilli danda near to the pond of ancient state of Dumrao, which is in Bihar. Okay, he would regularly go to the nearby Bihariji temple to sing Bhojpuri Chaita, at the end of which he would earn a big laddu weighing 1.25 kg, a prize given by the local Maharaja. So, students, when he was a 5-year-old, he used to go to play gulli danda near the pond in Dumrao, which is in Bihar. Okay, and there he used to go nearby Bihariji temple to play, and after that he used to go inside the temple and sing with the other people the Bhojpuri Chaita. Bhojpuri Chaita is a folk song which is sung in the auspicious events, at the end of which after end of which he used to get a laddu, a big laddu whose weight is 1.25 kg. Okay, and for that only he regularly used to visit in that Bihariji temple, and it was given by the local Maharaja of that place. This happened before 80 years ago. Means from that time, this period of time. This happened 80 years ago, and that little boy has traveled far to earn the highest civilian award in India. Means after that, the story changes and take a turn. That after, before, this was the story when he used to play gulli danda. It was before 80 years ago. Okay, and after that, that child only had got highest civilian awards in India. That is what Bharat Ratna. Ustad Bismillah Khan, born on 21st March 1916, Bismillah belonged to a well-known family of musicians from Bihar. His grandfather Rasul Baks Khan was the Shehnai Nawaz of the Bhojpur King's court. His father Paigambbar Baks and other paternal ancestors were also great Shehnai players. So from this paragraph, students, you got to know that he was having a traditional and ancestral background from music only. His grandfather Razul Bucks Khan used to play Shehnai. He was Shehnai Nawaz, and in Bhojpur King's Court, and his grandfather's father also used to play Shehnai, whose name was Pegambar Bucks. He was a great Shehnai player. The young boy took to music early in life. The young boy, the Bismillah Khan, took music or bring music in his life in a very early age. Okay, so at the age of 3, when his mother took him to the maternal uncle's house in Banaras, now Banaras is known Varanasi. Bismillah was fascinated watching his uncles practice the Shehnai. Soon Bismillah started accompanying his uncle Ali Bucks to the Vishnu temple of Banaras, where Bucks was employed to play the Shehnai. So in these lines, students, you have seen that at the age of 3 years only, Bismillah Khan was got interest in Shehnai playing, because when his mother took him to his maternal uncle's house at Banaras, there only he was fascinated with his uncle's practice, whose name was Ali Bucks. From that period of time, he has started accompanying his uncle wheresoever he used to go. He used to Ali Bucks used to go. Bismillah used to accompany him. Okay, and Ali Bucks was employed to play Shehnai in Vishnu temple at Banaras. Okay, so there also Bismillah Khan used to accompany him. Ali Bucks would play the Shehnai and Bismillah would sit captivated for hours on end. Slowly he started getting lessons in playing the instrument and would sit practicing throughout the day. For years to come, the temple of Balaji and Mangala Maiya and the banks of the Ganga became the young apprentice favorite haunts where he could practice in solitude. Okay, so day after day his interest get improved, and he got much attached with the Shehnai playing, and day by day he started getting lessons from his uncle while how to play that instrument, and he used to practice after the day also, when his uncle Ali Bucks used to over from his duties from Vishnu temple. He used to sit over there and play for a long period of time, and for many years he played that Shehnai or practiced that Shehnai at the different places like Balaji and Mangala Maiya, or on the banks of the river Ganga. And it has become the favorite place for him, where he used to practice in a solitude. Solitude means in a alone. Being alone, he used to practice over there. He loved to be alone there and practicing that Shehnai without any disturbance. And one more reason was there, that why he used to sit on the banks of on the bank of river Ganga and used to practice, because the following water of Ganga inspired him to improvise and invent rags that were earlier considered to be beyond the range of the Shehnai. Okay, because as you have got to know that he was very much inspired by the flowing water of river Ganga. Means how the water comes up and down, one sound is created from that, and from which he got inspired and take out different sound from his Shehnai, like that only. At the age of 14, Bismillah accompanied his uncle on to the Allahabad Music Conference. Means his first performance was at Allahabad Music Conference, where at the end of his recital, Ustad Fayaz Khan patted the young boy's back and said, "Work hard and you shall make it." means his first performance was also very good, and one ustad was there who patted one ustad was there whose name was Fayez Khan, who patted his hand, who gave blessings to Ustad Bismillah Khan, the young boy. That and one comment also he has given, that if he'll work hard like this only, he will surely get success in his life. With the opening of the All India Radio in Lucknow in 1938, came Bismillah Khan's big break. Means in 1938 a big turnout was there for Bismillah Khan's life, that All India Radio in Lucknow was opened, and in that he used to play Shehnai. He soon became an often heard Shehnai player on radio. Okay. When India gained independence on 19 August 1947, Bismillah Khan became the first Indian to greet the nation with his Shehnai. Means when India got independence at the first 15th August 1947, Bismillah Khan has played his Shehnai to greet the nation. He poured his heart out into the Rag Kafi from the Red Fort to an audience which included Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, who later gave his famous tirist, tirist of destiny speech at Red Fort. So in this para, students, you have got to know that Bismillah Khan has greeted our nation on the first Independence Day on 15th August 1947, and he poured his full heart with a full spirit. He played his Shehnai with the Rag Kafi. This is a type of folk rag, or a type of tone which is bring out from that Shehnai, and he played that tone on at Red Fort, and audience were very much happy with that performance, and Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru was also so later he gave on that day only a speech on his book, that is Tirist with Destiny. Bismillah Khan has given many memorable performances both in India and abroad too. Okay, so in this line he has you got to know that he has become very much popular not only in India but also in abroad too. His first trip abroad was to Afghanistan, where King Zahir Shah was so taken in by the maestro that he gifted him priceless Persian carpets and other souvenirs. Okay, students, firstly, and his first trip, the first performance of Ustad Bismillah Khan in abroad was at Afghanistan. Before the royal king of that place of the Afghanistan was Zahir Shah, who was very much happy, who was very much fascinated due to the performance, due to the maestro of Ustad Bismillah Khan, that he gifted him the priceless Persian carpets. These are the famous carpets of that place, Afghanistan, and so many other things, precious things, souvenirs were gifted to Ustad Bismillah Khan by King Zahir Shah, just because of his maestro for playing Shehnai. The king of Afghanistan was not only the one to be fascinated with the Bismillah's music. Film director Vijay Bhatt was also impressed after hearing Bismillah play at the festival that named a film after the instrument called Goonj Uthi Shehnai. So students, in these lines, not only the king of Afghanistan, Zahir Shah, was impressed by the music of Ustad Bismillah Khan. Other people were also there, and one of the person, the Vijay Bhatt, the director, the composer, was also very much impressed by after hearing Bismillah's Shehnai. Okay, so after hearing that, while playing in a festival, he has he has named one film of his film. He has directed one film whose name was Goonj Uthi Shehnai, and this film was based on the Bismillah's music only, and the film was a hit of that time and one of Bismillah's Khan's compositions too. And one more film was there, Dil Ka Khilona Hai Toot Gaya, turned out to be the nationwide chartbuster. Despite these huge success, his celluloid world, Bismillah Khan's means in this glamorous world, Ustad Bismillah Khan was at that time also very much down to earth only. Okay, Bismillah Khan's ventures in film music were limited to two only, means only these two songs were invented or these movies were done by Ustad Bismillah Khan, because he was very much interested in films. He doesn't want to make his career in film. Okay, so that is why he left it, and Bismillah Khan's ventures in film music were limited to two: Vijay Bhatt's Goonj Uthi Shehnai and Vikram Srinivasa's Kannada venture, that is Sanadhi Apanna. Okay, the another film of South India, that is Sanadhi Apanna. after this after this, one interview was taken of Bismillah Khan, in which he has expressed his views that he just, in his voice, I in his according to him, I just can't come to terms with the artificiality and glamour of the film world. He says with the emphasis, means emphasizing, focusing on his statement that he just can't come to terms with the artificiality and glamour of the film world. Means according to Bismillah Khan, the film world, the Bollywood or the Hollywood, is just in glamour. It is an artificial life the people are living in. Okay, so he was not interested in such type of life, so he has left it. Awards and recognition came thick and fast. Bismillah Khan became the first Indian to be invited to perform the prestigious Lincoln Center Hall in the United States of America. He also took part in the World Exposition in Montreal, in the Cannes Art Festival, and in the Osaka Trade Fair. So well known did he became internationally that an auditorium in Tehran was named after him, Tahar Mosaic Ustad Bismillah Khan. So in this paragraph, students, you will got to know that at what famous places Ustad Bismillah Khan has given his performances, and because of those only he has got very fast popularity and very thick popularity, very much recognition and awards he has got in very less time and in a very fast manner. Bismillah Khan has given his first performance and invited by the people of USA for giving his performance in prestigious Lincoln Center Hall, which is in United States of America, and the other he has took a part in World Exposition in Montreal, and one more Cannes Art Festival he has taken part, and also in Osaka Trade Fair too. And because of his performances at different places in different abroads countries, uh, he became very much famous, and one because of his internationally being famous, one auditorium in Tehran was named after him, which is named Tahar Mosaic Ustad Bismillah Khan. A very important question can be asked from this name, students, so underline this name. National awards like Padma Shri, the Padma Bhushan and the Padma Vibhushan were conferred on it. Means these awards he has got, that is Padma Shri award he has got, Padma Vibhushan and Padma Bhushan award he has conferred after so many international performances. He has become so popular. In 2001, Ustad Bismillah Khan was awarded India's highest civilian award, the Bharat Ratna. Means India's citizen, India's best citizen award he has got, that is Bharat Ratna, from the former president Dr. K.R. Narayanan, awarding Bharat Ratna to Ustad Bismillah Khan. With a coveted award resting on his chest and his eyes glinting with rare happiness, he said, means after getting this award, his eyes were full of tears. He was he was become so emotional that he said one thing, that all I would like to say is teach your children music. This is Hindustan's richest tradition. Even the West is now coming to learn our music. Means he suggested to the people of India that we should teach our students, our children, music, because music is the richest tradition of our nation, and even the Western people are coming India to learn our music. So we too also get motivated and teach our children music. So he motivated the children and the people of the India to make the students musician. Okay, so in 12th paragraph, in spite of having travelled all over the world, Khan Sahib, as he is fondly called, means one another name was given to Ustad Bismillah Khan was Khan Sahib by his students, is exceedingly fond of Banaras and Dumrao, and they remain for him the most wonderful town of the world. A student of his once wanted him to head a Shehnai school in the USA, and the student promised to recreate the atmosphere of Banaras by replicating the temples there. But Khan Sahib asked him if he would be able to transport river Ganga as well. Later he is remembered to have said, that is why whenever I am in the foreign country, I keep yearning to see Hindustan. While in Mumbai, I think of Banaras and the holy Ganga, and while in Banaras, I miss the unique matta of Dumrao. So in the 12th paragraph, students, you have got to know that how much Ustad Bismillah Khan, after getting so much popularity, he was just down to earth. Okay, after getting so much luxuries, then also he was very much turned to his own village, Dumrao. Okay, and to Banaras, the holy Ganga. We can say the students because one of his student offered him a place in USA for playing for opening one school of Shehnai at USA. Okay, so that a student offered Ustad Bismillah Khan to recreate the atmosphere of USA like Banaras only, and he will bring all the temples over there. Means total atmosphere of that place where Ustad Bismillah Khan will teach the Shehnai in USA. He will, that student will made it like Banaras only. Means he will make second Banaras in USA. He was saying like this. So full atmosphere will be like Varanasi only in USA. So at this also Ustad Bismillah Khan doesn't get ready to teach there only or to live there only, because one feedback or one reaction, one reply he has given to that child, that if he can transport the river Ganga in USA, then definitely he will be staying there. Okay, so this is not possible, so he didn't stay there, he has left that place. Okay, and one thing he just said later on, which was remembered by people, that whenever he used to be at abroad, he used to think about his country, Hindustan, and whenever he used to be in India at Mumbai, he used to think about Banaras and the Holy Ganga. And while when he used to be in Banaras, he used to miss the Mattha of Dumrao. Mattha is a type of liquid substance which is taken out from the process of making ghee. Okay. Ustad Bismillah Khan's life is a perfect example of the rich culture heritage of India, one that effortlessly accepts that a devout Muslim like him can very naturally play the Shehnai every morning at the Kashi Vishwanath temple. Means students, in the first line, we can say that Ustad Bismillah Khan's life was a perfect example for rich cultural heritage of India. Means his life was a motivational life through which we can get to know about our culture of India. It has become his life has become a heritage of India. Okay, and one that effortlessly accepts, means one of his student was effortlessly accepts that devo he was a devout Muslim, and like him can very naturally play, matlab like him means here, Ustad Bismillah Khan only, he also used to play Shehnai every morning at the Kashi Vishwanath temple. Okay, Ustad Bismillah Khan passed away on 21st August 2006 at the age of 90 after a prolonged illness. Means after a prolonged means very large period of time he was ill, and due to which he got expired on 21st August 2006. He was given a state funeral, and a government of India declared one day a national mourning. So this is the end of the chapter. I hope you have understood the whole chapter. If any doubt is there, you can ask in the comment box. But first, you have to go through the summary and write the summary in your copies, and then you have to write the answers of these questions, then by going through the chapter from your books. Okay, and if you are having any doubt, then you come to the comment box and give your doubt over there, and I'll reply. Okay, so thank you. I hope you have understood the chapter. Thank you very much.